Hello everyone, I am Dr. Tejas and I am going to speak about HPV vaccination today. HPV vaccination is very important in eradicating CA cervix. CA cervix is one of the most common cause of cancer incidence and cancer death in developing countries, and India contributes to the major population of the CA cervix cases. HPV was discovered by Harald zur Hassan, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 2008. HPV vaccination was invented by Ian Fraser and Xian Zhu at the University of Queensland in Australia through a work of nearly 2 decades. This was done in collaboration with University of Rochester and US Cancer Institute. So HPV DNA has two types of genes. One is the early genes and another is the late genes. Early genes is mainly involved in replication transcription, viral release, immune evasion, binding of p53 and p retinoblastoma gene, which is involved in cell cycle arrest and repair. Whereas the late genes, the L1 and L2, are involved in the manufacturing of the major and minor capsid protein respectively. Coming to the HPV vaccine synthesis, we utilize the L1, that is a major capsid protein, for immunogenicity. So here we use L1 gene on the HPV DNA, extract it, and insert the DNA into the E cell DNA, which when transcription happens, then undergoes translation and produces capsid proteins. These capsid proteins are the ones which we inject into the immune host, where it elicits immune response. So here is a flowchart which briefly explains how it happens exactly. So whenever we inject the HPV L1 virus-like particle, it goes and binds to the antigen presenting cell, and this antigen presenting cell combines with the MHC antigen complex and with help of co-stimulatory signals activates the T cells. These T cells in turn activate the B cells, which has the memory to keep in mind about the antigens, and whenever they are activated, the plasma cells, which are the matured B lymphocytes, produces the immunoglobulin G, which are very essential for the protection against HPV infection in future. Although natural infections do produce immunoglobulins, the concentration of immunoglobulins produced by natural infection is way below the immunoglobulins produced through vaccination. It comes nearly many tenfolds about the natural infection. Coming to the vaccines which are available in the market right now, Cervarix is one of the early vaccines which was introduced in the market and got the FDA nod in 2009. It was produced by GSK and it has the virus like particles of 16 and 18 strain. It was cultured in Trichoplasma insect cell line infected with L1 recombinant baculovirus. It had the adjuvant of 500 micrograms of aluminum hydroxide along with 50 micrograms of 3-O deacylated monophospholipid A. This 3-O deacylated monophospholipid A is the one postulated responsible for the long-lasting action of the Cervarix. The dosing schedule of Cervarix is 0, 1 and 6 months respectively. Coming next, the Gardasil. This was the first vaccine which was approved by the FDA in 2006. This was manufactured by Merck and it had the viral-like particles 6, 11, 16 and 18. It was produced in Saccharomyces cerevisiae expressing the L1. It had the adjuvant 225 micrograms of aluminum hydroxyphosphate sulfate with an injection schedule of 0 to 6 months. Then came the Gardasil 9 in 2014 after the FDA approval. It was produced by Merck and it was active against 6, 11, 16, 18, 31, 33, 45, 52 and 58 strains. It was produced in Saccharomyces cerevisiae expressing L1 with adjuvant of 225 micrograms of aluminum hydroxyphosphate sulfate with a dosing schedule of again 0, 1 and 6 months. This is a summary of how the progression of HPV vaccines took place over the years. So coming to Gardasil, which is a quadrivalent vaccine, is a vaccine indicated in girls and women and boys and men. In girls and women, this is indicated through 9 to 26 years. It's protective against cervical, vulvar, vaginal, and anal cancers, and also for genital warts, cervical intraepithelial neoplasia, vulvar intraepithelial neoplasia, vaginal intraepithelial neoplasia, anal intraepithelial neoplasia. In boys and men, it is usually given through the age of 9 to 26 years and protective against anal cancer, genital warts, and anal pre-invasive lesions. So, whereas Gardasil 9 is the recent vaccine, is indicated in girls from 9 to 45 years, and it's protective against cancer of cervix, vulva, vagina, and oropharyngeal and head and neck cancers. It is also helpful in preventing the precancerous conditions of the cervix, vulva, vagina, and anus. In boys and men, it is given from 9 to 45 years and protective against anal, oropharyngeal, head and neck cancers, and genital warts and anal intraepithelial neoplasia. Coming to the immunogenicity analysis of these viral vaccines, the HPV vaccines has been trial in various trials like the Patricia trials, the future trials of Cervarix and Gardasil respectively. Here you can see in the table that one of the uh, one of the phase 3 trials which showed that the Cervarix had 7.6 fold higher titers of HPV antibodies compared to the quadrivalent vaccine, that is the Gardasil, and the seropositivity at the end of 60 months, that is 5 years, was good in both cases of Cervarix and quadrivalent Gardasil vaccine, with ranging from 100% to 97.5% against both 16 and 18. So there was a Cochrane review regarding the efficacy and safety of the prophylactic HPV vaccines, and it clearly showed that all evaluated vaccines offered excellent protection against CIN2 or CIN3 and adenocarcinoma in situ associated with HPV 16 and 18 infections in young women who are not initially infected with high risk HPV or the HPV 16 and 18 respectively. And the safety of prophylactic HPV vaccines also has been proven by very low incidence of adverse reactions after millions of doses across the globe. Coming whether 2-dose schedule is important or 3-dose, there was a WHO position paper where they had shown that on comparison of 2-dose schedule in girls with 19 to 14 years and 3-dose schedule in 15 to 26 years women, the 2-dose schedule was not inferior to the 3-dose for all the vaccine types. So, the dosing of vaccines also plays an important role in HPV vaccination, and in 2-dose schedule, a minimum interval of 6 months is required between the 2 doses for especially girls aged less than 50 years. If the time period between the 2 vaccine doses is less than 5 months, a third dose is recommended, and 6 months after the first dose. There is no recommendation for maximum interval between 2 doses. However, ideally it should be between 12 to 15 months. And there is no need to restart the vaccine schedule when the second or third dose is delayed. So, coming to summarizing the thing, in a normal age population, HPV vaccines are licensed for females of 9 to 45 years. However, the preferred age group should be 9 to 14 years when the girl is before the sexual debut. So, in women who have been sexually active, they may not be benefited as compared to girls who has been vaccinated in 9 to 14 years or before the sexual debut, to be exact. Females aged 15 to 25 years should be considered for catch-up vaccination program only if resources are available. So in cases where there is basic settings, we usually do not recommend vaccinating females from 15 to 25 years. So the basic target would be females who have been not attained sexual debut, or especially in the age group of 9 to 14 years. In special group populations like especially victims of sexual abuse, the ACP, CDC, and AAP recommend both males and females a 3-dose schedule. The first dose at the examination, second dose 1 to 2 months of the first dose, third dose after 6 months after the first dose. In another population like the pregnancy and lactation, we do not have a data on HPV vaccination during pregnancy, so it is not to be initiated during pregnancy. However, if she gets accidentally vaccinated and she does not recognize she is pregnant, stop the schedule and you can continue it after delivery after 6 weeks. However, lactation is definitely not a contraindication and you can go ahead with vaccination. In HIV positive women or the women who have been immunocompromised, it's better to give dose schedule of 0, 1 and 6 months. That is a 3 dose schedule is recommended, especially in the age group of 9 to 14 years. Vaccination in males is recommended only in high resource setting and is not recommended especially in settings like India where it is basic setting. Coming to the vaccine coverage, as you can see in the map, the Australia, Canada, Mexico, the European populations are the one who have been vaccinating more than 80% of their women, whereas in areas like USA and other parts of South America and Africa, the vaccination is still on the way, almost reaching the targets of 50 to 79%, whereas majority of the Africa, Southeast Asia, including India, where the incidence of cervical cancer has been on the rise since many years, the vaccination coverage has been dismally low. Especially in India, only especially states like Sikkim, Punjab, and Delhi, there has been no proper vaccination programs into the state immunization programs. So WHO call for global action to eliminate cervical cancer has with the 2030 targets has a goal of 4 cases of cervical cancer per 1 lakh women. So the 2030 targets for this WHO call is 90% of the girls should be fully vaccinated with HPV by age of 15 years and 70% of the women screened with HPV tests at age of 35 and 45 years and all managed appropriately according to the results. And there should be 30% reduction in the mortality from cervical cancer. So I appeal to all the gynecologists to educate women regarding HPV vaccination and the importance of HPV screening among the population. So this gives us a great responsibility as gynecologists to go ahead with HPV vaccination and HPV screening and help eradicate cervical cancer. So thank you for my patient listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and also comment on any changes or any videos you want in future. Thank you.